So Ramattra just released on ladder and you can't figure out how to kill him. You have come to the right place. This video will give you the strategies on every position to stop him from destroying your team and start your climb on the ladder. Before we get into how to counter Ramattra, we need to understand Ramattra as a hero to exploit his weaknesses. Ramattra has the most abilities of any hero in Overwatch. Let's break them down. First, we have Void Accelerator, a fairly slow moving projectile that does 112.5 damage per second with no damage fall off and has a headshot multiplier if you can hit him. Void Barrier is Ramattra's shield. This has an uptime of 4 seconds and a cooldown of 13 seconds. This isn't going to be used like a Reinhardt shield, it is more for stopping CC and quickly moving through a choke. Nemesis Form is where Ramattra gets interesting. This ability transforms him into a huge mech, giving him 225 armor, replaces Void Accelerator and Barrier with his abilities Pummel and Block. It lasts 8 seconds on an 8-second cooldown. Pummel is a melee ability dealing 100 damage per second, 60 damage per hit, has a range of 12 meters and damages through barriers. Block is similar to Doomfist's block ability. Ramattra crosses his arms in front of him, gaining 75% damage reduction and 50% movement speed reduction. Ravenous Vortex is a slowing field that pulls enemies to the ground and deals 15 damage per second. The projectile can be bounced off of surfaces and will not detonate until it touches the ground. Finally, we have Ramattra's ultimate, Annihilation. It deals 30 damage per second in an AoE of 13 meters. It is infinite as long as he is dealing damage and has a rolling 3-second counter that pauses anytime he deals damage to anyone. Yes, you heard that right. His ultimate is literally infinite. Ramattra is surprisingly strong in the meta right now after his buff, but don't worry, we are about to learn how to counter him on every position. The best way to counter Ramattra is going to be to keep your distance. While Void Accelerator does do a decent amount of damage, the projectiles make it incredibly difficult to use from a distance. The best DPS counter to Ramattra is going to be Sojourn. We won't spend too long here because Sojourn is the best counter to, well, a lot of things, and I feel like I'm cheating giving her this spot. Sojourn is still broken, and if you can hit her railgun shots, she's absolutely insane. Her ability to do consistent damage to Ramattra from range, then deal burst damage definitely makes her the best pick here, but with how broken she is, she's probably going to get nerfed sooner rather than later. So, in preparation for Sojourn's nerf, and in case you can't aim like an OWL god, I'll give you a runner-up. Ashe is an excellent pick versus Ramattra and is probably not going to be the target of a nerf anytime soon. She's able to do damage from range with her ADS and can utilize her coach gun to get away from him if he gets close. She is also able to throw her dynamite over the top of Block and deal damage, as Block only reduces damage from the front. While dynamite doesn't do a ton of damage, this is useful for finishing him off if he decides to block with low health. I almost picked Soldier for this spot, but Ashe's ult is significantly better, so if you know how to play her, I would do so over Soldier. If not, Soldier is also a solid pick. The key to countering Ramattra on tanks is going to be mobility. The top spot on this position has to go to Winston. Winston's ability to get in and out of a fight quickly will help immensely in this fight. Ramattra is a tank that will require his supports to focus him a bit to be successful, and Winston's ability to cut him off from his supports and most likely kill them is where he will shine. Ramattra's inability to peel for his supports is also going to help Winston run this game. The only real way he's able to help is Void Accelerator, which is easily countered by dropping a bubble in between you and him. Not only is Winston's bubble useful for diving his backline, but it can also completely shut down his ultimate. As we know, Ramattra's ultimate is probably the best in the game and is nearly impossible to counter. We also know that he needs to continue to do damage to make it worthwhile. As Winston, your job the second he pops his ult is to put a bubble on top of or between him and your team, as Ramattra's ultimate is stopped by shields. As long as your team can stay behind these shields for the next 3 seconds, Ramattra will go back to his squishy little form and you shouldn't have any problems. The runner-up for tanks is going to be Orisa. I gave it to Winston because of Orisa's inability to get away from or stop Ramattra's ultimate. The top counter for support undoubtedly goes to Kiriko. Kiriko's ability to do damage from range and get away from sticky situations makes her a perfect pick to put this big boy down. In order to counter Ramattra on Kiriko, you are basically just going to shut down all of the things that make him powerful. You move so fast that the chances of him hitting you with Accelerator are almost zero, and if he does, he most likely won't kill you. He doesn't move particularly quickly, so spamming your kunai at head level will allow you to deal damage from range with no fall off. Finally, your ult can basically render his useless. What is better than killing Ramattra or cutting off his ult with a shield? Just backing away for a moment. Due to your ultimate's ability to increase movement speed, you can pop this bad boy and your team can back up while doing massive amounts of damage with their increased fire rate. At this point, Big Dog only has 2 options, back off or die. While you will be giving up some space with this strategy, Kitsune Rush lasts 10.5 seconds and Ramattra's ultimate will only last 3 if your team gets the memo and runs away from him. This will allow you to get back into the fight quickly and give up virtually no ground at all with your Kitsune Rush still on the ground. If you're still here and found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more counter guides. Till next time.